So we are in sunny Oxnard, California.
Yes, which is about 45 minutes from where we're at.
And today we're going to be interviewing Luis Zavala, who he does patina paintings. What else?
Shoot.
You can have a pro at that. What's going on?
So enjoy this episode.
And
You'll love it.
And we'll see you in a little bit.
Yes.
My name is Luis Zavala, aka Diamond Eyes. I am a composer, but I also do a side business where I make patina art and patina painting overall. Where today, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be making a patina painting that you can use for decorative stuff for your home. Well, the whole thing with patina painting actually came from kind of sort of a lifestyle thing that I was starting to do. Is a few years ago, I started doing the whole Wasteland weekend thing with the Wastelanders and stuff like that. And I've always really liked the whole rust patina kind of a look. Ever since I was a kid, when they first found Titanic underwater, they showed up this huge rust just all over the place, and I was like, that is just so interesting. Kind of stuck with me throughout my whole life, and started getting me more into like rusticles and stuff like that, and rust overall. And I discovered that they actually started making kits and paints that allow you to do this kind of stuff. The process is definitely long.
What is your process?
Today, we're going to be working with Metal Effects, which is a Modern Masters product right here. We're going to be using bronze, and we're going to also be using copper. Now, with these, you also have to have a few other things. You have a primer that you start with. Most of your process is waiting. You hear the term very often used, they say, oh, it's about as fun as watching paint dry. Well, it's actually pretty fun to watch this dry. But yeah, then we have our patinas here. So we have our green patina. We also have blue patina. This is something that some patina artists actually abide by this. I do, others don't. This is a permacoat that you put over it. Now, this stops the patina from continuing to activate. So once it gets to a certain look that you're going for, you want to seal it and stop it from going on. Otherwise, it's just going to keep on going and going and going and potentially damage the actual product that you're doing. I actually did damage completely my old sprays that I put the patinas in because it rusted away the springs, so I had to get new ones. So because of the process, you want to make sure you have a very clean surface. So first thing, just brush off dust, just to make sure that it's overall clean before you put anything on there. We're gonna start right now with the primer. Now the primer just looks like a regular brown kind of a paint is what it looks like. Water-based. All this is water-based, by the way. Some people don't do this at all. It really comes down to what exactly they really want. I do the standard 2 coats of this. Technically, it's protecting whatever it is that you're painting from the after effects of the rest of the patina process itself. After all, this is acid-based, so you want to protect as much as possible. After this process done, we're going to do one more coat of the actual base of it for just to protect the canvas. After that, we start with our metal paints. Now, the metal paints are a little bit different because they kind of dry faster. The first coat that you put on there, whatever it is, whether it be the bronze, the iron, or any of that, you let that one dry off pretty thoroughly first. Okay. Then after that, the second coat, it has to be immediate. It has to still be very wet. And then once it's wet, that's when you grab your activators. So when you get your blue, your green patina, or your acid activator for the iron one, and you start spraying the stuff, and that's when the patina process starts, because it has to be wet on wet. We have the base on here. This is now complete and ready for the actual metallic paints to go on there. This is the copper, so we're gonna put a little bit of that in here. And what we're gonna do is, with this brush, we're going to start off with the copper part. This is a very important part when it comes to patina painting because of the fact that the first coat is just to get the metallic paint onto whatever surface you're going to be doing. The reason you do the second coat is the critical one, because the second coat is you have to make sure that it's still completely wet. And you see, when you go lightly and just put a couple little streaks of the bronze over it, it just makes it a little bit more dramatic.
Yeah.
See? Yes, it is indeed an expensive process. You can spend about $28 to $30, depending on where you get it from, on the actual metallic paints themselves. I recommend get the sets in small amounts first. The activators are an additional $20, $40 again, depending on the size of the bottles. Yes, I started with a kit that was 4 ounces of each of the paints. Anything that can be painted, you can make it into something really cool looking. Now, in order for this to come off the right way, we need to do one more coat of this. It needs to stay wet, otherwise the process won't begin. We got blue patina and gray patina. So let me start off with the blue one on this side. And spray some of the green one over here. Now this is the part that also gets a little bit risky because you want to saturate it enough, but not so much it's going to ruin stuff. Let's see what happens. The patina has already set itself where I think it's where I'd like it to be at the moment. As you can see, the blue part is the part that actually came out first, and you can see the areas that I hit with the blue a little bit harder than the parts with the green. And with this right here, we now have a genuine patina that I'm really happy with. Now we do a little bit of a final touch, very lightly. Just gonna give a little. This just gives it a little bit of a texture. See, like that kind of thing? Mm-hmm. Gives a little bit of streaks in there. And I'm gonna put my initials on the side right about right here would be cool. Yeah, perfect.
Very cool.
Yeah. Cool. There we go. Now I'll just let that dry up. So we come to the final part. Now that I have this the way I want it to look, we're gonna put the permacoat. Now, this is the part that literally seals the deal. This is now used not just to give it a nice kind of glossy finish to it, but it also seals it, so this is the way it's gonna freeze. You do 1 part water, 1 part of the permacoat. So we have that water right here, so we're gonna add as much of the permacoat into it. 2 coats, the first coat is half and half, the last coat is just the permacoat by itself. When you put the permacoat on the painting, it's going to look like and see what I mean, how it kind of becomes a nightmare at first. You're like, oh my gosh, that's not looking at all like the way I wanted it to. But that's the temporary effect while the permacoat is sealing down. 1 final coat of just it by itself, not half and half, just full on, full power. And there you guys go. So this is the final process now. We just let it dry and it's gonna have the full permacoat. It's gonna seal everything up the way it's supposed to be. And this is the process. Also, if you guys are into industrial music, take a look at my other band, Artifact Corruption. Take a look at Demon Eye Death if you're into trip hop, and if you're interested in any kind of metal stuff, I have another side project called Eidolon Date. Definitely releasing that by the time this comes out. Try this out. Try out other ways too. Develop your own style, and you'll see where it can go.